Is this thing on? Hey, cool. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Um, yeah. Actually, before everyone gets here, if you're watching on YouTube, welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy the show, such as it is. Where are we here? All right. Now, I only got about an hour to stream today because I've got a whole bunch of running around to do more Chinese green card stuff. Keeping an eye on my messages too, because, check the phone regularly. Anyway. Oh. That's all fine. Everything's set up properly. I think. Don't need any of that, but. Tina. I'm all phlegmed up again today, which is going to make recording my voiceover stuff this afternoon awkward. Oh, well. I'm trying to transition away from coffee. I think I mentioned that last week sometime. Drinking tea now. I mean, I still drink coffee, but then after my first cup of coffee, I switch over to tea. Today, it is a vanilla tea. A Twinings vanilla tea. Which I quite like. It's tasty. I think my overall favorite is the orange cinnamon, though, for flavored teas. Or for strongly flavored teas. I also like Earl Grey. Orange Pico is nice. English breakfast is good. Actually, I like most of them. Haven't encountered one I dislike anyway. All right, so all right. Oh, hey, Zedcore. How goes? Long time no see. Hey, is that a Johnny Carson impression? Man, I don't even know if anyone knows who Johnny Carson is anymore. Hey. Yeah, anyway. Uh, so how goes things? Oh, we've got some connection slowness going on here. I'm dropping frames like a mofo. Yeah. I'll keep my eyes open for a spot. If I have a werewolf at some point, maybe I can use that as a howl at the moon or something. I'm gonna try and swap VPN servers here. This one's not doing its job very well. Uh, are we solid now? Are we good? Yeah, seem to be steady green now. All right. Hopefully that was just temporary congestion. Heartburn again today. No, no, I don't. Not, not music. I have difficulty quite often filtering out things, which I never used to do. But hey, Chris, how's it going? I can listen to some instrumental music as long as it's not too dynamic or too, jazzy, whatever. I don't know how to. As long as it's not too much. If it's fairly mellow and stays in the background where it belongs, then I can handle that. I can listen to really old, very familiar music that I don't, I know well enough I don't have to pay attention to it at all. But yeah, no, it should be okay now. Oh, hold on, I'm sorry, I've got a phone call here. I'm gonna mute you guys. I'll be back in a minute. There we go. Sorry about that. Is the stream any better, Zedcore? Are you? Is it stable now? I seem to have a fairly steady connection. I'm green, solid green on my stream health square. Who do we have? All right. Okay, so yeah, I think it was just I don't know. Maybe the internet engines had to rev themselves up or something. I don't know. Um, or oh, music, right? Yeah, if it's fairly monotonous instrumental music, or if it's music that I know like the back of my face. Um, Lo-fi hip hop? No, no, I have not. I suspect that might catch my attention a bit too much. What if I'm not streaming, I do listen to white noise or pink noise or whatever it's called. Brain FM has a couple of I don't know what to call them, tracks that I like. The wind one, the rain one, the forest one's okay, which is basically wind in trees. But that kind of like white noise, pink noise, background noise, I find works okay, and it's got sort of a bit of a semi-randomized beat behind it. But the problem for me is that I'm a musician. I'm a drummer primarily. So if there's anything with a catchy beat, I'm done. I'm paying more attention to that than I am to what I'm doing. So it's weird because when I was younger, when I was a teenager, and a child, I had no problem tuning everything out, concentrating. Hey, silent author, we've got everyone, all the gang is here. How's it going? I'm not going to be able to stream very long today, unfortunately. Had have to head back down again to the entry exit bureau, the visa office, to submit yet more documents. We went yesterday. The one lady who can deal with green card applications there wasn't in yesterday, so you know we spent a whole day actually, half a day anyway, from noonish, little before noon, to God, got back around 6 in the evening. So I mean we yeah had to do the school run, pick up the munchkin from school and everything too. So oh, don't be sad. Hopefully, this is the last trip I have to make to the visa office, which means it's basically the last time I have to leave my house for the next little while. So I should be able to get back to my regular stream pretty quickly. Huh. Oh, so Silent Author was there, isn't there now? Maybe they dropped connection. I don't know. So yeah, I'm planning to stream till. Okay, I've there we go. It says I'm reconnected. I have changed my. Yeah, okay. No, I really I thought so. Oh, you're not showing up in my chat list though. That's weird. All right. I don't know. Can I refresh that? Does that refresh? And then nope, you're not showing. When I check my who's in the chat thing, you're not showing up. It's bizarre. But I'm glad you're still here anyway. I've just changed VPN servers, which is why I kind of dropped out there for a second, I suspect. But hopefully this one will be more reliable. Yeah, I'm planning to stream until noon my time, so till the next hour, I guess. I'm back again. man, still not showing up. I got Chris and Zedcore showing up in the list. Oh well, that's fine. If you're here, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter if you're listed or not. Um, that's some good tea. Yeah, I'll stream till the hour, and then probably have to do up a quick lunch, and then head out this afternoon. My son is home sick from school while he's coming back from the doctor. They went to see the doctor to get some tests and make sure he doesn't have the cove. So so everyone's doing well anyway, I guess. So, just out of curiosity, Zedcore, what's the difference between regular hip hop and lo-fi hip hop? I assume it's is it less busy? Is it the samples that you're using? No, he does not have COVID. Well, I assume my wife didn't say when she called me just now, and I assume she would have said, but maybe not. She sometimes doesn't say anything. No, he's just got a cold. He's not running a fever or anything, so it's couldn't possibly be COVID, I guess, unless it's asymptomatic. But yeah, no, I'm sure he's fine. Just a cold, seasonal cold. The usual stuff you get when you're packed in a room full of other 10 and 11-year-olds for 6 hours, 8 hours a day. But he's immunized as well, or vaccinated. So it's unlikely that he's got anything other than a head cold. Not sure how interesting that is, but oh, so silent authors there. Chris is there. We've lost Zedcore, and I'm for that. Or do I what? Do I have COVID? No, I haven't been out of my house for months. And honestly, probably the safest place in the world to be COVID wise is China. I mean, yeah, it's a Twitch bot. Do 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 do. Yeah, I can't remember. Do do do, something like that. It's in the wrong key, but um, I could probably whistle it, but I don't want to whistle. Um, yeah, I see, little news tidbits and stuff about 1,000 people dying a day in in the U.S. We had two asymptomatic cases last week, which was the first in my city. We had two asymptomatic cases last week that were caught. Um, they shut down a university campus, quarantining 1,500 people inside of it. Oh, you're thinking copyright strike? Yeah, possibly. I don't know. David Duchovny wouldn't do that to me. Um, yeah, they they locked the university up with 1,500 people in it. Um, I mean, they take care of them. They bring them food and water and stuff, and until everyone was tested to make sure nobody else had it there. It took a day or two. I think they did 2,700 tests all told in 24 hours. Um, so that's two asymptomatic cases. The only cases in the last 8 months, I think, 6 months. And before that was like one or two cases as well. Um, yeah. This is in a city of 12 million people. So, um, we're doing okay here. We're pretty safe. things have, life is pretty much back to normal. The only difference being that more people wear masks than they used to, although people did used to wear masks from time to time as well. Like if you have a cold, you'd wear a mask if you had to go out so that you don't make other people sick, that kind of thing. When you see more of it, a lot of people wear a mask all the time now. Not everybody does, but a lot of people do. But the response to detected cases here is swift and effective. I don't think anyone has died of COVID since the initial outbreak, like a year and a half ago. Just doesn't happen. Not here. So, yeah, we're doing okay. I'm pretty sure it's not that. And if it was that, he'd be fine. The William Tell Overture, which I always end up getting mixed up with the theme from Bonanza. What's that, Rawhide? Yeah. I won't be singing any of those today. And actually, it occurs to me that, I'd probably be okay on the stream on Twitch, but I then upload this stuff to YouTube afterwards, and I think they tend to be a little bit more persnickety. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know much about Twitch. I've only been on here for a couple of weeks, so who knows? But I wonder what happened to Zedcore. We lost Zedcore. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Technically, singing a few bars of a song should fall quite solidly under fair use. Especially if we're talking about a song, then it's commentary or a part of commentary, which is protected from copyright claims. But the music industry has an awful lot of money, and they have pushed the envelope so far out of shape that it's not an envelope anymore. And while I might be able to successfully defend myself in court, neither YouTube nor Twitch care a whit about that. They just block your channel and be done with it. Legalities be damned, I guess. They are firmly in the pocket of the big media companies. Fair enough. That's that's the side their bread is buttered on, I guess. But the other thing is that in defending myself in court against, take your pick of the big record labels or media companies or movie companies or television production companies or whatever, I would go bankrupt just successfully defending myself. So you win the battle and lose the war, I guess. Better to avoid it completely. That being said, I'm currently in the process of producing an audiobook version of the collected works of H.P. Lovecraft, most of which is in the public domain now, clearly in the public domain now, and the rest of which, it's muddy, because it's almost certainly in the public domain, but there is the possibility that it isn't. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Oh, okay. That's weird. Oh, there we go. Okay. An emote, a Twitch global emote, which I'm not seeing for some reason. I'm seeing a broken picture with a less than 3 heart. Is that something, is that a setting I need to do? Oh, I have all sorts of options there that I never looked at. Okay. Where could you listen to what, Chris? The X-Files theme song, the Lone Ranger theme song. That's just the William Tell overture. The Bonanza theme song. It's a song called Rawhide. I'm sure you could find them on YouTube or Spotify if you have Spotify. Um, hmm. Oh no, I'm not okay. I'm not. I'm not finished it yet. I'm still editing the first installment. I didn't realize going into this project just how much the man wrote. Something like 300,000 words worth of stories. So, to be fair, I've been editing. I've been editing the first third or the first quarter of his stuff for the past year. It's sort of a back burner project. I'm not in a big hurry. Um, I will. I mean, I'll have the whole audiobook out on all the audiobook platforms except Audible, because Audible doesn't let you publish an audiobook unless you also have an ebook at least. So, yeah, they're huge. I have a hardcover somewhere back there of the collected works, and it's a chonky boy, that book. I mean, it's only about 10 hours worth of audiobook. So in theory, I could do it in a couple of days. I could get it edited and out the door in a couple of days, but I always have so much else going on that it just gets shuffled off to the side. I believe so. If they have audiobooks, my audiobooks I publish through, or I distribute through Findaway, which distributes to all the major platforms. So I mean on the Apple iBooks and Google iBooks and everything else. I do also, when I put out an audiobook, I chunk it up into pieces, and then I put it on. I have a podcast called Stories for the Masses that I release. I've only done one book so far, but the plan is to release to serialize the audiobooks and put them out on the podcast, sort of as an audience development tool, I guess, marketing wise. Sorry, thought I heard something out the window there. Um, yeah, so at the moment, the podcast really only has the Wizard of Oz, the first Wizard of Oz book, which is also available as a full audiobook without the interruptions and the breaking up of things. So with the Lovecraft stuff, I plan to not put all of the stories on the podcast. I'll select a few, because otherwise it'll go for damn near a year with just H.P. Lovecraft. So at the moment, my list of stories for the masses and audiobook development books, I'm on the first Lovecraft installment, and then it's the second Oz book, then the Picture of Dorian Gray, then the third Oz book, and then the second part of Lovecraft, and then the fourth Oz book. You see the pattern here. And then the third part of Lovecraft, if I didn't say that already, then the fifth Oz book, then The Invisible Man, a bit of H.G. Wells going on there. The sixth Oz book, Edgar Allan Poe. The seventh Oz book, Bram Stoker's Dracula. The eighth Oz book, H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. The next Oz book, Frankenstein, Oz. The Three Musketeers, Oz. Island of Dr. Moreau, Oz. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Oz. And then an Agatha Christie novel. And then the last Oz book written by L. Frank Baum. There's 14 of them in all. And it's like the whole project basically started out because I planned to do all 14 Oz books, and I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't do all of them in a row because, a bit tedious. The I think I have I think I have the podcast linked in my Twitch profile. But here, yeah. I do audiobook narration and YouTube voiceover. I don't want to say full time because I don't spend 40 hours a week doing it. I have other projects I work on too, but that's my only paid source of income right now is doing client freelance voice work for clients, audiobooks and YouTube voiceover. I've got a voice booth to my right and all sorts of fancy pants equipment with which to record. No, actually, I don't think I can. I was thinking maybe I could grab my camera and take you on a little tour, but yeah, I'm on USB power, and I don't want to disconnect. Well, actually, I suppose I won't lose the stream if I do that. I can just reattach the camera. I dropped my external monitor off my camera a few months ago, and it kind of yanked on the HDMI out port on my camera, which means that it fits a bit loosely now where it shouldn't. And yeah, it's kind of fiddly. I have it connected well now, so hey. Okay, I'm gonna River Ace Messy. Yeah? Is that close? Messy's fine. River Ice Messy. Is that Portuguese? The AES? I don't know. Esteban. Esteban. Okay. Mr. Messy. How goes? Yeah. As usual, I'm not getting much writing done. We're chatting, but oh, I get it. Esteban. Rivera. Esteban Rivera. I get you. Now it all makes sense now. Working on a script. Oh. TV, movie, stage. Explanations are always good. Short film. Interesting. What sort of genre? Oh, thanks for the follow, by the way. Oh, sorry, folks. I've got to pop over and answer the door briefly. I'll be back momentarily. I won't give you the be right back thing. I'll just mute my mic. Okay, sorry about that. My son was back and feeling sick. 7 viewers? What the heck, dude? How do we have 7 people? Omega Black Champion! Hey, how's it going? I'm assuming that T. Joxbow is... Where am I? Hmm. Hey, we're got ourselves a busy stream today. Wow. There's T. Joxbow. If that, I don't know if that's a person or a bot. I always, whenever I see new names in the chat, I always copy them and just throw them into Google to see what comes up. And it's an awful lot of bots. Hey, not a bot, a dude, a person, a folks. Hi, welcome to the chat. Oh, I always, there's a lot of bots. I'm not sure why or what the point is, but, you know, I guess scammers have to make a living too. Well, I'm Canadian, so I have to wonder what they're all about. Eh? Quack. Quack, quack. Uh, oh, I may drop out a little bit or lag out a bit from time to time. I have to keep changing VPN servers because I don't know. The government of the place where I live doesn't like them and keeps trying to interfere with their operation. Rush, okay. Geddy Lee, Neil Peart, that other guy whose name I never remember. Yeah, I was quite sad when Neil Peart passed fairly recently, but uh, oh, so much going on in this chat. Normally it's a bit more sedate. Okay, so there, Alex. Yes, yeah, some fantastic music produced over the years, though. Absolutely, there's a lot of really good bands out of Canada. I often tease my American acquaintances. Say Canada's biggest export is famous Americans. So, uh, yeah, I think I don't. Are they still touring? Are they still performing? I'm not sure. Oh well. If they are, they're not. They've got a solid body of work that we can enjoy forever anyway, so that's a good thing. Yeah. So, so short film, drama, and suspense. Ah, okay. Sorry, I had to scroll back. I had a lot. I was juggling a lot of balls there. Drama and suspense, which is kind of what I'm writing actually. Suspense, mystery, horror, fantasy mashup. Yeah. Chris kind of tagged on it there. Um, the monsters are called moths. They have big leathery wings. They emit hallucinogens, which cause their prey, humans mostly, to stand still long enough for them to shuffle up and wrap them up, and puncture them with their tentacles and suck them of all their fluids. Protagonist of my story is a guy named, he goes by the name of Frank Berg. He's a detective inspector in a sort of faux Victorian London-y kind of place with magic and monsters and stuff. So There's a drug cartel of some sort. Yeah. No. They wouldn't. Yeah, but Queen's touring though. They've got that Lambert guy filling in for Freddie. They're performing. They're putting on shows. Apparently, they're quite good. I mean, the guy they got is good, and I mean, Queen in particular as a band was it was an ensemble. Each member of the band was a key part of the band, but the band itself sort of, I think, transcended any one of them. So, I mean, I don't mind so much if Queen keeps going. Yeah, Freddie definitely was Freddie. Well, it's like back when Extreme, was it Gary Sharon? Oh no, yeah, right. Gary Sharon from Extreme was part of Van Halen briefly, if I remember correctly, and that didn't work out so well either. Just wasn't the right vibe. But he's a phenomenal singer. Yeah. No, I don't know. For me, the big one is Zeppelin. I mean, I understand why they stopped. I mean, for a lot of reasons, I understand why they stopped when Bonzo went. But I'm still kind of sad I never got to see them live. So, yeah. So what? Introduce yourself, T. Joxbo. Who are you? What do you do? A busy chat here. I suspect that it will be a consistent trend that pretty much everyone who jumps in the chat on my stream is going to be a writer of some sort. Yeah, Greta Van Fleet. They seem to have figured out how to try and sound like Zeppelin, but they don't feel like Zeppelin, if you follow. I don't mind them. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy an album of theirs, but I don't mind them. They sound like Zepp, but they certainly don't feel like Zepp. It's it's these days in particular, it's really really hard to rise above the noise. I don't know if a band could sound like Rush. Hey, Slim Icy. Baby Shark Trap remixes. TJ Oxbow. Fair enough. I'm trying to think what are the divisions within the romance community. There's the erotic stuff. There's the sweet romance. That's what it's called when there's no naughty stuff. When there's some, but it's not shown explicitly. It's behind closed doors. Yeah. What variety of romance are you aiming for? Most of the people I know on Facebook are romance writers. It seems to be the most heavily populated genre. Ox it is. I will. Confession to make, I'm really, really bad with names. I remember people, but I often, the signified, I remember. The signifier kind of gets stripped off in my cortices. I don't know. I have a really big problem. I have a really problem wording today. I have an issue with names, so I'll try as we get bigger. As we get bigger and more populous, I'll try and keep everyone straight and keep track of who's writing what and what your projects are. I'll do my best. Yeah, I word good. I'm a professional worder. Um, do I been teaching for 20 years. There was a time when, with an exceptionally heavy effort of will, I could memorize the names of a new class of students on the first day and keep them straight. I remember faces. I remember people. I know who the person I'm talking to is, and I remember every conversation we've had more or less, and I know what their deal is, and I know who they are. I just sometimes can't pull the name out when I need it. So, the last few years I was teaching. I was teaching writing at a foreign language middle school and high school here in Hangzhou, and I was teaching about 500 students. You joke, but I use LibreOffice, not Microsoft, but same thing, a calc sheet with everyone's info. So a quick reference guide for myself. Yeah, I might just do that. Every game I've ever played, I've sat down and statted out a spreadsheet for all the equipment and stuff. Yeah, no, well, I had 230, between 230 and 250 writing students, and then I had another 8 classes, so about 240 plus English as a second language students as well. Never saw any group of kids more than twice a week, and half of them I only saw once a week for 40 minutes. So, I mean, how am I supposed to keep track of everybody, or anybody for that matter? Silent author is silently observing the stream, but not so silently letting us know that. Ironic. My favorite is when I meet somebody at a party or whatever, and I go up and introduce myself. And, hey, I'm Mike, and they say, yeah, I know, we know each other. And I'm like, oh, well, this is awkward. Oh, a thing, gotta go. I just yeah, I don't really either, but we I'm not terribly social. I'm very much an introvert. I like chatting and I like people in small doses, but I also really like just sitting in a room by myself and making people up. Um, but my wife also isn't much of a social butterfly, not much of a mingler. So, and we have an 11-year-old, which is an awkward time anyway, and he's he's of mixed ethnicity in a country which doesn't really have a lot of that. He's the only kid in his school, grade 1 through grade 6. He's the only kid in his school that isn't 100% Chinese. So we thought maybe we should make more of an effort to put ourselves out there and be social. So we went to a Thanksgiving party, or a Thanksgiving get together, American Thanksgiving. So, a month late, but whatever. A few nights ago with some other expats who live here, and it's a good time. It was a good time. But yeah, I introduced myself to at least two people that already knew who I was. So, I mean, yeah, you win some, you lose some. Yeah. I, to be fair, I would be surprised if there are any people in the chat in a writing stream that aren't at least somewhat introverted. That would surprise me quite a bit, actually. Mm. Yeah, and you would think that for writers, we're preoccupied with words and labels and encoding experience and sensory information in language. You would think we'd be better at it. Yeah. Mm. I mean, I've got a good memory most of the time. That's a good barn there, English. Yeah. At the end of the day, I figure I really just don't care that much about names. They're not that important to me, so I don't pay much attention to them. Um, which does make for some awkward situations. I care about the people the names are attached to, but I tend to focus more on personality and experience and interaction and dialogue than I do the name of the person I'm talking to, the superficial stuff. I think of names as a superficial thing, actually. It's not the person, it's just what you call the person. So, hmm, hmm, maybe I'm just lazy. Hard to say. I don't remember the names of my characters very well either. I have to actually, yeah. The worst. I don't know why I'm looking around to see if anyone else is listening in on my conversation, but um, the worst situation I had with like that name, it was a name aphasia when you can't pull a name out. I think aphasia would be a good word for that. I think that fits. Anyway, the worst case of not being able to remember somebody's name that I've ever experienced personally was in high school. For some reason, maybe I hit my head as a child. I don't know, but for some reason, I could not, for the life of me, recall out of my brain the name of the girl I had been dating for 2 years. Just it would not come. It would not come out of my head. For like 2 days, 3 days. I was honey, sweetie. It was horrible. Oh, it was so embarrassing. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, it's bad. It's more than awkward. It's the sign of an actual problem. Uh, so yeah, no, that was a rough couple of days. Yeah. So if I don't remember the name of a student I see once a week who never speaks in class, I don't feel so bad. At least it's not, someone I spent every day, every part of every day with for the past 2 years. Oh, so yeah, I should probably do some writing. Nope, I don't have writer's block. I having spent oh, I don't do freelance writing. I should have writer's block. No, I haven't gotten much writing done lately. Just because I've been busy chatting, which is fine. I enjoy that, but um, my writer's distraction. I don't know. You'll hear people say there's no such thing as writer's block. There's creative block. There's procrastination, but there's no such thing as a block that's unique to writers. I'm like, that's missing the point. That's missing the point. I mean, there is writer's block and painter's block. It's just what are you trying to do that you find yourself unable to get started doing? Um, I was about to say I don't do freelance writing much anymore just because there's no money in it. The bottom fell out of the market in terms of pay rates. So hmm, what I would suggest then, well, the only issue I have with calling it writer's block is that it gives it agency, that feeling, that hesitation. It gives it way too much power by giving it its own name. Um, it's basically it's one of a couple of things. It's either just straight up procrastination, like you're not feeling it at the moment. You don't really want to get into it at the moment. You're not enthusiastic about it. Or sometimes for me what happens is I get overwhelmed with complexity. I have too much going on, and then I end up not doing anything. There's too many details to keep track of, too many projects, too many pieces, and I just sort of shut down a little bit and watch YouTube for 3 days. But my experience is that the difficulty comes in starting, not in doing. So once you get going, like there's a bunch of productivity gurus that'll tell you the 2 minute rule. If you can do something in 2 minutes or less, just do it immediately. Don't schedule it, just do it, get it done. Take care of the little things first. Yeah. You know what, Chris? I'm actually in the middle of setting up a Discord server, so for this stream, and it will be basically that. It'll be a little writers community. I also own the domain writer.org, which I'm going to turn into at some point, turn into sort of a community, like the old critique circle that doesn't work very well, but could, something like that. So collaborative writing projects and critique groups and book club readers groups, stuff like that. Writer.org. I've got plans for that stuff, but it's on the pile with all my other projects. So if you're stuck not knowing where to go with your story, that's one thing. That's not writer's block. That's planning problems. That's a structural issue, in which case maybe you back up a bit. Maybe you write a different scene. Maybe you do a quick little prelude side story with one of your characters just to get into it. Maybe just stream of consciousness, right? Start writing something, and then once you're writing, the rest of the writing comes much easier. For me, starting is the issue. It's like, I think of it like a speed bump. That's a little hill you got to get over before you can hit level ground or coast. So, just write something. Start putting words down. Even if you're writing a little creative nonfiction essay about why you hate writing so much today. Once you start putting words down, you get into that zone, your brain flips the gear and you're good to go most of the time. If that doesn't work, maybe you need to take a break. Maybe you do need to take a break. Maybe you're burnt out. Maybe you've been pushing too hard. Quite often, good question. I'll come to that in a second. Quite often, I don't have ADHD, but sometimes I wonder. Quite often, if you're feeling resistance as you try and get into your writing, it's because subconsciously, at least, something isn't right. Something's not working. You're pushing a character against their nature to fulfill a plot point you want to hit, or you've got some sort of a weird logical issue where like nobody would do that thing that your character just did. Yeah, no, it's true about Stephen King. He's not weird in the way that his public persona is weird, I don't think, but he is weird in other ways. He's firmly of the belief that stories somehow exist already, and his job is just to discover them, to uncover them like an archaeologist. Which, I mean, if it works for him, and apparently it does, great. It makes no sense at all to me. That's like saying a chair exists, I just have to uncover it by putting this wood together in a particular way. It's ridiculous. I'm making a story. I'm building it. It's my creation. But he thinks of it that way, so be it. I plan my stories in fairly good detail before I start them as well. Not everyone does. Some people enjoy discovery writing, and I'm one of the few people, especially one of the few writing teachers, who will tell people that there are lots of different ways of finding a writing process, lots of different writing processes, and none of them is right and none of them is wrong. It's just whatever works best for you, whatever you enjoy the most, do that. Discovery writing tends to be a lot more work in the long run, takes longer than planning, than plotting out your story and writing to an outline, which can be a problem, but They're both, if you enjoy the process of discovery writing, of like picking out some plot points and then writing your way to them, great. If you enjoy it and it works for you, go for it. It's not a race. It's not a competition to see who's more efficient or more effective in a particular way. So yeah, I tend to write chronologically, but well, in this story, I'm definitely writing chronologically, but mostly that's because I'm not really sure some of the details. I haven't done as much world building as I usually do. So I'm kind of inventing stuff as I go along, and that's easier to do in the first part of the book than it is in the later parts of the book. Yeah, for me, I try to. I don't know if I try to or not, but I do tend to sort of. I write in character, as so to speak. My writing style is inflected by my point of view character. Yeah, the reason that I plot out my story in detail ahead of time is because I like to make those decisions while I'm not distracted by trying to pick the right words for things and write cool, elegant, flowy sentences. And I mean, there's just so much to deal with. I like to divide it up and, divide and conquer, right? So, but my writing style tends to be inflected by my point of view character. So like Frank in this story, my early scenes, I'm going to have to go back and rewrite them at some point because I didn't have a very clear feel for him yet when I was writing those scenes. And so they're fairly dry and flavorless and characterless. My more recent scenes feel a lot more like Frank's story now. So I'm going to have to go back and go through and add more Frank to the early bits that I wrote. The plot is lined up now the way I want it, more or less. I might want to add a bit of complexity here and there. Maybe a subplot. There's a subplot I'm thinking about adding that involves a secondary antagonist that I created on the fly as I was needing him. So there's some stuff to add, possibly in a first draft edit pass, rather than going back and doing it now. So I know the major plot points for the story. I know how it ends. I know there's a big reveal in the fourth act. Pages, I have no idea. I'm sitting at just over 10,000 words. I was originally doing this as a NaNoWriMo novel, but Heather Dudley, who's in charge of the NaNoWriMo forums, can go get bent. She cheesed me off again this year, so I'm done with Nano. I will never do another NaNoWriMo again. But I'm here for anyone who is, if they want a community or a place to talk about their stuff. This is it. So, yeah. I was trying to set up a write-in and was unable to post anything about it in NaNoWriMo. Oh, okay. Sorry. I assume anyone who writes knows NaNoWriMo. National Novel Writing Month. Global activity, community-based activity, where the goal is to produce 50,000 or more words of a new novel in the month of November. So, NaNoWriMo. Yep, that's exactly how you'd spell that. Oh yeah, it's in my my stream description, right? Yeah, no, it's a thing. I've never successfully done it. I've been involved in some way or another since 2010, I think. This would have been my 11th year. I took a few years off after running into Ms. Heather Dudley 3 or 4 years ago. She kept deleting my posts in the forums, accusing me of self-promotion and stuff when I was really just trying to arrange events and activities. You got to go, silent author. Oh, okay. I should probably go too, actually. I've got a sick tween and a busy wife, and lunch needs to get cooked, and yeah. Yeah, James Joyce took 15 years to write a book. I want to be more productive than that. So, James Joyce with his tortured artist shtick. No thanks. My best friend from high school actually just finished his PhD, wrote his thesis on, was it the Dubliners? James Joyce focused anyway. His PhD was James Joyce centric. Not my cup of tea. I'm more for the Victorians. I like my Dickens and I like my Austen. Well, like is strong, but the Brontes for sure. Wuthering Heights is one of my all-time favorites. That gothic feel. That's kind of what I'm going for in this thing that I'm writing up here, for that matter. So, oh, yeah. What was it? There was. Oh, hold on. There's a question. Oh, the chronology. Okay, I think I got to that. I think I mentioned that. With this book, yeah, chronologically. To be fair, this is my first novel. I've never gotten more than a few scenes into a novel before. So this is the furthest I've ever gotten in a novel. Most successful to date. So you know, exactly. So I haven't really had an opportunity to write asynchronously, non chronologically yet. Mostly I've done a lot of flash fiction and short stories, which don't give you a lot of space to jump around much. But this one so far has been chronological. It just feels more natural to me. I'm sort of walking my way through the story as I go as well. If I hit a point where I just really don't want to write this next part, I might jump ahead a bit. There's a couple of scenes that I'm looking forward to later in the story. I might cheat a bit and jump ahead if I'm feeling cheeky at some point. But I find it easier if I go chronologically. I find it easier to account for things that have already happened rather than trying to fill things in afterwards. Like remember if I jump ahead and then go back and, write my way up to where I jumped ahead, I've got to remember what things were necessary in the jumped ahead part that I have to add at certain. It's too much for me. So I plan to avoid that if possible. Well, okay, you know what? Yeah, I am gonna have to get going. I've got a bunch of stuff to take care of today. I told myself I would go till the hour, and that's the hour. So tomorrow, either. Well, okay. So here's the thing. Either I'm going down to the visa office this afternoon, in which case I don't have to go tomorrow and I can stream like normal and everything's cool. Or, oh, thanks for the follow, Ox. Appreciate it. Yeah, it is. It's getting late in Poland. Either I'm going this afternoon, although with my 11-year-old ill, he's feeling a bit nauseous as well. I don't want to take him out, so we're probably not going to do it today, which means I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow, or at least not at my normal time. I might do a bit later like I did today if I can get back in time. So tentatively, provisionally, maybe I'll be on tomorrow. If not, I will see you guys the day after. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm gonna lead out with my book trailer that I made because you guys haven't seen it yet. So oh, I gotta do the YouTube thing. So if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like and thumbs up and bell and all that. You know what to do. If you're watching VOD, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to follow so you can get notified when I go live and join the chat, which today was awesome. It was a great chat. And for everyone in the chat, thank you for stopping by and being a part of this. I had a great time. I hope you did too. I'll see you next time. No post-credit scene today. Ha!